If you've been a solo provider in your cash-based practice and you brought on another clinician and then really struggled to get your past clients as well as new incoming referrals to see that new clinician, you are not alone. And if you're thinking about adding a clinician and going from solo provider to clinic owner with staff seeing patients, trust me, this is a very common issue that you need to know about, and you need to know what to do to address it ahead of time as you're hiring a new clinician, or even if you've already brought them on and you're still struggling to get their schedule full because everyone wants to see you, the practice owner. This episode is going to be the solution that you're looking for. It's already a scary proposition to bring on a new clinician to a small private practice, and especially scary when you can't get them up to profitability. And what you're going to learn in this video is going to teach you how to quickly maximize the number of people saying yes to this new clinician and getting on their schedule, bringing them up to profitability, and ultimately decreasing your stress moving into future new hires as well. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Jarod Carter. I'm a physical therapist, a cash-based practice owner, and the creator of the Cash Pay Profit Formula. I help healthcare providers like you to create your own cash-based out-of-network or concierge practice so you can cut ties with greedy insurance companies, provide a level of care you are ultimately proud of, and reclaim your future and your profits. So if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing because I put out episodes like this very frequently, and they always have a free resource associated with them designed to help you get results faster. And this week's free resource is the Ultimate New Employee Onboarding Guide. And it actually goes well beyond the initial onboarding phase. This is a guide that's extracted from multiple HR experts, and it has so many things that are so important for you to do with all new employees throughout their entire first year that if you've never done this before, if you're not already an HR expert, then you just don't know this stuff. Trust me. So this is a very valuable resource, not just to help you to get someone up to speed in your practice and get as much value out of them as an employee, but also to make sure that they see as much value in staying with you and producing for your practice and producing as much profit as possible and serving your customers to the highest level. So please download that resource. Make sure you don't take on another new hire without knowing all these things. You can get it at drjarodcarter.com/episode 7. That's episode spelled out and the number 7. Okay, so now let's dive in to this week's video where you are going to get a sneak peek behind my mastermind coaching group where one of my coaching clients had asked this, brought up this issue of really struggling to get people to see their new clinician and them losing money and not getting up to profitability fast enough. This is what you can do and implement now if you already have a clinician like that, or moving forward if you're looking at bringing on new clinicians to your cash-based healthcare practice. Hi, this is going to be a short video to answer a question, a very common question I get in my mastermind group. And it's for those practitioners that, like most, when they start a practice, whether cash pay or not, they're the only practitioner for some period of time, sometimes for a very long period of time. And all of a sudden they start to add staff and new clinicians. Everyone is kind of married to the practice owner as far as who they want to see, whether it's established clients, past clients that are reactivated, or even new clients coming in because they're calling because of word of mouth about the practice owner. And so as with most problems, I should first mention that if you know these things ahead of time and you're able to plan ahead, most problems can be solved if you're able to kind of go back and address it far enough back in time or set up systems before that problem would arrive. But a lot of practice owners, they don't know this stuff and they're already in the situation and they need to know what to do at that point to try and get, new clients as well as previous clients to see their new staff. And I've had to do this with multiple new staff members that have added to my team over time. And so I've gotten pretty good at it. And there's, a handful of things I'm going to tell you now about how I've gone about successfully getting established as well as new clients to see my new staff. So first and foremost, if you are able to, before the person is brought on, but you're in the hiring process, even if you don't actually need your past clients to share, the job posting, even if you don't need that because you've got a good candidate or whatever, still send it to them and say, we're hiring. And the idea is to get them to share, or maybe even on social, please share, please tag someone who might be interested. Getting them thinking and feeling like they were a part of finding this person for your practice. is really powerful. That same person, if they needed services in the future, and it's like they had this tie to that whole process, they're going to be more likely to say, yes, I'll go ahead and see that new person that I helped bring into your practice. So that would be one thing. Obviously, announcing everything on social and email as you're finding that person, like teasing it out. We're down to 3 great candidates. I'm so excited about all of them. I don't know how I'm going to choose, but really kind of hyping things up along the way, both on social and email. If you're regularly emailing your list, if you're not, you should be, for exactly these kinds of purposes. So that if you don't want, if you're not regularly emailing your list and all of a sudden, 500,000 plus people get one email every, 6 months from you, you're going to get a lot of unsubscribes. You're not going to have anyone kind of trained, so to speak, to actually take action on your email. So it's really important to have, for many reasons, regular contact points via email with your list. And this is a good example of something where you could, through that month-long process, maybe, send them 2 or 3 emails to keep them updated and let them feel like they're a part of this journey that your business is going on. Then, of course, you would announce the person that you choose. And one of the things I did in the past that I really liked was to actually sit down and do a recorded interview, not just necessarily about clinical stuff, but like, what are they like as a person? What do they like to do? If they recently moved to your city, what do they like best about it? Even if they've been there for a long time, what are your favorite activities? Tell us about your family. Really putting that humanist or kind of humanizing that new person, putting a video face to just the name can be really powerful. And then, of course, sharing that out on social and YouTube, on your website, as well as email. So getting people involved in that process, hyping it up all the way to the point of hiring someone is really, really important. Now, let's say you're already in the situation where you have somebody that you've hired. And you're like, well, that'd be great if I knew that before, and I'll do that with the next one. But right now, I can't get anyone to see this person. Well, there's a handful of things that you can do. So, with all of your current patients, as you're treating them, if you're still, in this case, if you're a solo practitioner and bringing on your first or 1 or 2 people, you're probably still seeing patients yourself. So in that scenario, talking excitedly, talking that person up while you're in session with your clients, and just saying how great they are and their credentials, and they're helping patients do this and that. Just got a first testimonial back for them, rave review, said XYZ. So really finding ways to like skillfully, insert that into the conversation, even if it's just, hey, how's it going? As most sessions start, how have you been? Great, man. This new therapist, Tanya, is just so impressive, and all of her patients that are working with her are just loving her, and we got these great testimonials. So I couldn't be happier, And so just planting those kinds of seeds for when, what we're going to get to here in a moment, another strategy comes up of your limited schedule, they're going to be more open to seeing that person. Another thing that you can do is with all your current clients early on, you can just say, look, as part of our onboarding and training of all our therapists, or, our new therapists, I'm having them sit in on a good number of sessions just to learn all the logistics of how things go and how things run in the clinic. And would you mind if they sat in on your session? And it gives them that opportunity to get to know that person. And even beforehand, you can let the person know, hey, they're dealing with the shoulder issue. I might want to kind of clinically talk about shoulder stuff with you to really showcase their knowledge and background on treating shoulders and helping people with shoulders. And it's like maybe they've, even been involved in some kind of research on that body part or that type of issue or syndrome. So really kind of having that conversation, you can skillfully work that in as you're working on the person's shoulder in a way that really highlights how great this new staff member and how experienced they are with shoulders. And then, the next thing is limiting your own schedule, the spots that are actually offered, saying like, we'll offer, these spots, but tell your admin, like, try to keep these open for me. Unless we really have somebody that we cannot get to book with them, then, let's not offer these spots, and starting to limit that. And then if they're really insistent, whether it's a new patient or an established patient, but especially if they're calling in and saying, I really want to see, I want to see Jarod. That's who my doctor told me about, or that's who so-and-so told me about. Okay, no problem. We will definitely schedule with Jarod. Their first available is 2 weeks out. But what would you think about if we book that appointment 2 weeks out, but so that you're not waiting to start making progress back to XYZ goal that you or your admin have already established on the phone, that this is what they want to get back to. This is the driver of their decision to call in the first place, so that you don't have to wait, and be in pain and delay your progress back to XYZ goal. What would you think about just getting started with our therapists so-and-so. And then after you've got a session in or 2 sessions, depending on how long it is before you can see Jarod, you guys can then, decide if you want to continue in coach read or just stay completely on Jarod's schedule. But I'd hate for you to wait 2 weeks to get started back to XYZ when I know, with complete confidence, we can start that process now and still get you on Jarod's schedule. So just kind of, if they really won't go for it, they're just like, no, I'll wait, then book them on the owner's schedule, but try to get them to say yes to getting started. There's some other kind of logistical things is adjusting the text on your website on the about page. Don't have you as the business owner at the top. Put yourself at the bottom with all your staff above you. When you have a testimonials page, wherever possible, if you can adjust the text to say, my therapist at Carter Physiotherapy, my therapist at, or, me and my therapist, as opposed to just your name all the time. And when you are asking, you still certainly want to ask for people to give you testimonials. And hopefully you have an automated onboarding email series that's just a series of emails, and 1 or 2 of those ask them to go to your Google page or to your Yelp or whatever and give a testimonial. But in that, whether it's in those emails or you just asking, hey, I'd really love if you tell your story at our Google review page. It drives a lot of our business, and you've had such great results. I'd appreciate if you get on there. Let them know. Please though, don't mention me personally. Just say my therapist at Carter Physiotherapy, right? Make it about the brand. Don't make it about me. I'm not saying you have to say that to them, but do ask. Like, if you could just refrain from using my name and just say my therapist at. I'm really trying to make it where people that find us via our testimonials aren't so insistent on only seeing me. So those are some of the big things on the topic of testimonials. Having a really big push in the beginning that every single patient that new staff sees, that we are asking multiple times for a testimonial, Google review, something like that. And then anytime you get those, marketing those out to your email list on your social, and then instructing your admin to know, what did so-and-so say about them? What did so-and-so say about them? Having it even written down where when they're talking to this person saying, oh yeah, well, we had, your shoulder, blah, blah, you're getting all this information. That's another topic about guiding that initial conversation on the phone. But part of that can be, if we're trying to get them scheduled for someone else, we say, yeah, your shoulder actually sounds very similar to another patient of ours right now who we just discharged or just came in yesterday and said how much better they're doing working with Tanya, working with whoever that new therapist is. That skillful little planting of a seed somewhere in that conversation when you get to the end really, really can help to get them over the hump to see that person rather than, you as the business owner, if they got a direct word of mouth referral to go see you. So those are all, a good number of things that you can do. It's worked really, really well in my practice. I've had multiple staff through the years come in, and it's, for a long time, it was the Jarod show. And over time, I learned to make it not the Jarod show and really, really make it about the brand as a whole and the new staff as they come in all those different ways. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. All right. Again, I highly recommend you go to drjarodcarter.com/episode 7, or click the link below to download the ultimate new employee onboarding guide. I'm telling you, if you're not already an HR expert, you are missing out on some key factors that will optimize the output and the addition of that new staff member, keep them around, keep them happy, and make you happy for bringing them on. And as always, I love your feedback and your input. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. If you felt like you got something out of this, click the like button. And if you know of any colleagues that might benefit from this, click the share button and send it their way. And of course, this had a lot of steps, and you might not in this moment be in a situation where you're bringing someone on and you need this stuff. So if that's the case, then hit the save button. It's a great little feature. You can always come back to this when you're at that point in time where you're going to be hiring someone. Because as you just heard, this process, if you're applying it to new clinicians that you haven't yet hired, there's a lot that can be done before or as you're doing the interviewing process to really make it a big success and get them to profitability as quickly as possible. And finally, if you want more information on transitioning out of network or starting your own successful cash-based healthcare practice, please enjoy these related videos, and I'll see you in the next episode.